Good afternoon. It's Reverend Pat Bessie from Unity Center for Spiritual Growth, and I'm here to give you your midday faith lift. Today is Good Friday. We are experiencing this Easter season in a very different way than we ever have before, and hopefully that we'll ever have to do again. So I have a Good Friday message for you today. But before we start that, I just want to acknowledge there may be some folks right now that need our prayers that may be without electricity. Mother Nature played a little trick on us yesterday and gave us one last, hopefully, snowfall of the year. And I know that many are without power today. I'm grateful that we're not. I'm grateful that I'm in a warm home, have food in my belly, and have everything that I need, and I hope that you do as well. So as we begin this time together, I want to say hello to Brenda Nicolosi from Wisconsin. Hi, honey. So good to have you with us today. And Mimo, I see you as well, and Elizabeth Peterson. This is a wonderful time to just stop everything and come into this now moment. So I'm going to invite you to hear the words of my good friend, Sibby Morrow from Syracuse, New York. A few years ago, Sibby put out a meditation every day through Lent. And this is her meditation for Good Friday. So just sit back and just allow yourself to hear these words, and there'll be time in between for a little silence. So just now, hear my words. And actually hear the words of Charles Fillmore. The word crucifixion means the crossing out in consciousness of certain errors that have become fixed states of mind. It is the enactment by a master of the final extinction of carnal mind, the giving up of the whole personality in order that the Christ mind may be expressed in all its fullness. That the Christ mind may be expressed in all its fullness. And this comes out of Keep a True Lent. And so an affirmation for us today would be, today fast from error thought. Feast on divine consciousness. Fast from error thought. And feast on divine consciousness. Let that settle right in. Good Friday represents the crucifixion of the limitations and beliefs that hold us back from expressing our true spiritual identity. As we die to the past and our stories surrounding it, we experience a death of sorts, which may be accompanied by pain and grief. As we let go of our old stories, of the stories that we've been telling ourselves and others, and we really take on the mantle of the Christ, that comes with those letting go, pain and grief. Give some thought to an old story that you've given up. We may find in ourselves in so-called negative experiences, and yet they may be the call to examine and subsequently release old habits, beliefs, or attitudes. I would say that many would express that this is a time of a negative experience in our life where we're having to distance ourselves from our loved ones and be fearful Many may be fearful of what may come, but it is a time for us to really look at that. Do we want fear or do we want faith? And to release any old habits that we may be holding on to that no longer serve. These beliefs or attitudes that no longer serve our inner evolution. For within every death is the possibility of new birth. The leaves that die and fall to the ground become the fertilizer of food for the new seeds. Out of the ashes of the phoenix arise. As we crucify our old limited thought patterns, we go into a waiting period where we do not know what will arise from their ashes. There comes a time for each of us to die to the old ways and make way for the new spiritualized life. To die to the old ways and make way for the new spiritualized life. That's what we're being called into. That's what the Easter season is about, is letting go, dying to the old, to be reborn and to rise again. We're being called to a life of love, peace, harmony, freedom, and joy. A life that can only come when we willingly surrender to the death of our limited view of reality. And we only have a snapshot. We only have a small picture of that view of reality. And that's what we hold on to. And so as we can let that go, we open up to the expansiveness of what's available to us. We can never bring to fulfillment the potential of our being without sacrificing our clinging to old thoughts, to old stories, to old beliefs. Lynn Jericho, in her musings on Inner Easter, states, evolution means there are no fixed points, no true beliefs, no everlasting meaning. All evolves. A soul on a path of personal spiritual development must give up identities, habits, and stories. So what she's saying here is for us to evolve into who we've come here to be. We must be always letting go of what's been and step into what can be. There's a story about the monk who built a raft to go across the river. And the question is, does he carry the raft with him in case he needs it again, or does he put it down and won't keep going, knowing that when he gets to the next place that he has to portage, there will be enough there for him to make another raft? That's the letting go and trusting. So today, let us take time to become still and declare our willingness to release the limitations in consciousness that keep us stuck in our negative experiences. Let us allow their crucifixion so as to create an opening in consciousness for the working of spirit in our lives. The divine spirit within each of us knows no death. So just take a couple of minutes. We'll just go into the silence for a couple of minutes, knowing that the spirit within each of us knows no death. Today I release my limited thoughts and beliefs and allow them to be crucified, to be crossed out in consciousness. I make room for the Christ within me to rise and demonstrate triumph over the limitations of my physical point of view. I know as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death that I am comforted and guided by God as divine presence. On the other side of pain and suffering is the light of the Christ presence, which will rise in me and bring the dawn of a new life of freedom. And so it is. So today I invite you to go forth in surrender. Remember the truth of who you are, that you are God's beloved. And take time to look at some of the old beliefs, some of the old stories, some of the old patterns, and use this time today to let them go, to crucify them, so that you can open up to the truth of who you are. And I want to thank all of you for being here. I see Ashley is here with us. I see Michelle Keefe is with us. So grateful for each and every one of you. And join us. Michelle Neese is here. Join me on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for our Easter service. God bless you, and you are the light of God, and let your light shine so ever brightly.